Good day and salutations, my friends. I don't know if any of you are like me, but when I scroll through TikTok sometimes, or maybe YouTube Shorts, or literally any video relating to a streaming or gaming setup at all, I'm always being shown these insanely awesome gaming setups, and every single time I see them, I get mildly depressed. Not that I'm not thankful for what I have now, but because I know there's so much more out there that I can't have. At least not yet. Because, well, you know, money. But just because we can't have it right now doesn't mean that we can't at least look. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to be reviewing and looking at some of the coolest gaming / streaming setups that I found on TikTok. So at the very least, this video can come to you as just some sort of entertainment to look at them with me, or it may provide inspiration to you if you're in the middle of creating your own. So without further ado, let's dive in and look at some of the most popular setups on TikTok that I found. Here's the first one by Oxydoxy TV. I think I pronounced that right. 3, 2, 1. Here's what I like about it. I've seen this cloud thing a few times from people. Also, this probably takes an insane amount of time to set up. Here's a few things that stand out to me. Obviously, the clouds. We got a huge blue theme going on. But what I like about this is, like, he can literally change the color scheme in his entire room to be, I mean, whatever. Obviously right now it's just like a shade of blue, which really isn't the most like eye-catching thing that he could do. Adding some more color contrast obviously would do that, which I'm pretty sure I've seen other of his videos, and he has done that, adding different color behind his TV or his desk and his ceiling. But honestly, for such a narrow room, because you can see the couches right here, it's pretty close to the TV. He honestly did a great job at utilizing the space that he has. And he has a 3-monitor setup, well, 4-monitor setup. I mean, this whole thing is just pretty much completely overkill, right? This is what we're talking about. There's more out there that you could do with your setup, but like, you know, your financial situation may not allow it. But overall, obviously this setup is super clean, man. And then we pan over here. This is obviously a basement. It's got this, what is that? It's not a mini fridge. That's a mini fridge on top, I think, with shelves, and I don't know what that is down there. But I mean, this might be the best setup that we're going to see throughout the entire video. On to the next. Me being happy with my setup. Powered by a laptop. Here's what I like about the setup. I wish we got like a full like wide view of it so we can look at all of it at the same time. Okay, so here's I love this right here. The 3-stack with the controllers. These controllers are pretty cool. I like the color scheme going on. Obviously, very intentional about their color scheme, which I feel like you probably should be if you want it to be like a TikTok setup, a setup that people, you know, want to follow as you upgrade throughout time. You need to have a specific color scheme that draws people in. But anyways, kind of similar to what I have like over here behind me. I have a shelf with all my controllers. So just utilizing extra controllers you have. She has a keyboard up here, which is pretty sick. But here is what I really like about the setup. If we back up here, as opposed to the one that we looked at before, where we have the ceiling is just all cotton with LEDs going through to emulate the clouds or the sky or whatever it may be, and then literally LEDs throughout the entire room, RGB everywhere. You got a huge mini fridge shelf with RGB behind it. You got the big TV with the PlayStation next to it on the shelf. Literally the whole shebang, probably anyone's dream setup. And then you have this, which is super minimal, but the thing is, I kind of really like it. It's just goes to show you can have a really clean, aesthetically pleasing gaming setup. I mean, even the monitors aren't the same size, and you can still make it work with the bare minimum. I mean, there's a nice LED strip on the back to kind of just enhance it a little bit. I think honestly, without the LED strip, it probably looks like way more boring and bland and blah, and probably doesn't get as many clicks and likes. But literally just adding that, you can buy these super cheap. I have a link down in the description down below to all the RGB strips that I have, and you can get something that looks just like this, manipulate to any color you want for your color scheme. And honestly, even something so subtle, just one strip like she has in the back here, can enhance your entire setup. And honestly, if there's anything I would change about the setup, or not necessarily even change, but add to, you got a lot of blank space up here, like maybe like a poster or something like that. I'm sure as time goes on, they'll add to it or change it a bit. But I mean, honestly, I think for what it is, I think it probably doesn't get the recognition it deserves for how clean and aesthetically pleasing it is. Sometimes less is more. Remember that. On to the next. Your setup sucks. Bro, just quit. It's horrible. You will never have a cool setup. That's not nice. Whoa! Didn't see that coming. Just kidding, I did. This is pretty lit. Another thing, so obviously, who knows if anyone actually made fun of him for his setup. I doubt it, bro, because the majority of people are probably running with something like this anyway. But here's the thing, man, is going back to the setup we just saw right before this one, very minimal, just pretty much only had an RGB strip. There's ways to use what you have, even here in this picture, to make it look more aesthetically pleasing. A little bit of cable management, a few more things that you can just hang up on the wall, like a floating shelf with some of your knickknacks on it. Maybe take away this strip that's up here and put it more on your desk, even though it looks like they have one there that's just white. So definitely things you can do even with this right here to make it more aesthetically pleasing. But obviously for the theatrics of the video, they had to show it and then cut to this, which obviously is undeniably way cooler. I even actually really like this monitor orientation, and I'm kind of in the process of trying to change my current monitor orientation to something kind of similar because I want my camera a little bit more central to my face. And also the common theme that we're seeing here is the color palette for every single setup. If you're looking to be known for your aesthetic in your setup, you really need to have a certain color profile that when people see it, they're like, oh, that's so-and-so setup. Then we got some more expensive lights up here in the back, which is pretty cool. But honestly, my favorite part about this setup is 100% the monitor orientation. Because when you're setting up your monitors, obviously you're thinking, oh, you want everything to be perfectly aligned. Your OCD kicks in and you're like, this monitor over here, this top one needs to be perfectly aligned with the bottom monitor right there. And this vertical monitor needs to be, the bottom needs to be lined up with the bottom of that monitor. And honestly, there's something about almost an intentionally unorganized, messy orientation that just looks super dope. And I think it just works for what he's got going on here. He's just utilizing the small corner of the room. I don't know what the rest of the room looks like, but as far as this goes right here, man, it looks pretty dope. I'm really digging this setup. So here's another person that's utilizing these like tube LED lights in the back. This is definitely a popular look for people to use, is this like upside down V. It's definitely cool. It's I would say unique, but a lot more people are using it now, so I don't know if I'd say it's unique anymore. But you know, as far as aesthetics go, people like it. Adds something to your setup. This shelf is pretty sick. The fact that it's narrow, I personally would really like my setup because it's like less you have to worry about making it work, like cluttering a bunch of your knickknacks together. You only need to put a few on each shelf, and it's fine. You can even put things that just stand alone without other things, and it's going to look fine every time, which is super sick. This guy's got an insane amount of RGB items, bro. He's got like two of the same right here. He's got another one up here. He's got this RGB tube thing. He's got the strips behind his desk. He's got this vertical light right here, and this room is absolutely ginormous. Look how much space this guy has. I almost prefer a smaller gaming space because it puts less pressure on you to like fill the entire room and make it all feel cohesive and not look too forced. Not saying that his looks forced. Obviously, this kind of feels awkward right now. I'm pretty sure in the video when I watched it, he said he still has a lot more to do to the room because he just moved into it, which makes sense because, I mean, just this as it is. It's a huge room, and then just on this one wall, you have pretty much all the stuff just shoved in this little section. So in this image specifically, it looks a little awkward. But obviously, when you get the more close-ups like this, it doesn't really look that awkward. I'd be curious to see what his background of his stream looks like, though, when he's gaming. All right, next person. Wait, what did I just see? This man turned his desk into his actual PC. So this like isn't an extra setup, but it like kind of is. Bro, what happens if you get mad and you're like raging at a game and you slam your desk? Do you just like simultaneously break your desk and your PC at the same time? That's pretty lit, bro. I have never seen that in my life. And looking at the rest of the setup, obviously, I mean, just like we're talking about before, man, minimal. people get too worked up in seeing some of the setups that we saw today. They're like, holy crap, look at all of that RGB. Look at all the stuff going on in his room. That's what I need. You don't. Literally, all you need is this, minus the PC desk. You could have a PC sitting on a normal desk and still work. But look at this guy's setup. He has one monitor. He's got 2 shelves up above it with a few knickknacks on it. Nothing crazy. He's got his PlayStation sitting up here. He's got his audio interface here. His mic's on his desk. A few other little knickknacks, a little light. And when you look at this setup, you don't look at it and say, bro, that setup sucks. It's organized. It looks clean. It's not overdone. And obviously, what you're really paying attention to is the fact that his desk is an actual computer. But like I've been saying, this is why I'm throwing a few of these in here, is because I've heard from a lot of people, I'm not going to stream yet because my stream room isn't done. I can almost guarantee you most of your not done streaming setups probably look similar to what this guy has right here. Just one monitor, you got your PlayStation or your Xbox or maybe your PC, a desk, and a few knickknacks, and you think that's not good enough. It's more than good enough, as we've seen from a few of these setups here. You just got to do it right, make sure it looks clean and organized, and you're fine. What the heck? Bro, I saved all these videos so long ago because I meant to do this video forever ago and I forgot what the heck I was saving. So we went from some guy making a PC out of his desk or building his PC into his desk to the next guy who used a cereal Cinnamon Toast Crunch box as the case for his PC. How does this not overheat and catch on fire? Intel Core i9. Oh, bro, what am I looking at, man? That's not real life. I remember this one. Okay, that matte black, this matte black PlayStation 5 is actually fire. Fire. Look at that. How clean does that look, dude? And I love this setup. I love it. I'll throw away every single piece of RGB equipment I have to have this man set up right here. I really will. And he has a standing desk, which is lit. And again, we talked about this before. Your setup should have a certain feel and an intentional aesthetic to it. And personally, I'm not perfect myself. You know, you'll see my background all the time. I have the blue and pinkish purple with a few yellow lights here and there. Is that my brand colors per se? Not necessarily. I just like the color scheme. But when thinking about my brand as a whole, I'm not gonna go out and make everything blue and purple. So even for myself, I definitely have some things to work out, some kinks to work out when it comes to my setup and just my overall aesthetic. And that's why I love looking at videos like this, because it helps kind of give me inspiration and motivation to go out and really just nail down what I want my setup to look like and what I want it to be known for. So when people see it, they're like, that's Skarn's setup. But I just love this, man. I love the earthy tones he's got going on, like the wood, the green plant. Honestly, without the green plant, it feels very bland. You could probably even add another one somewhere. You got like the wood speakers, you got the wood controller holder, you got this like gray cloth looking mouse pad, which is pretty dope. We talked about the PlayStation. His plaque is even silver, some matte black. I don't even know what those are. But overall, he's got one monitor. He's got his mic over here. Even his controller's black. His headset's black. Chair's black. And he does have an LED behind his setup to kind of illuminate behind, because even if you don't need it for aesthetics, it's just good for your eyes in general to have light coming from behind your monitor. But even the light behind, he doesn't care for like the blue or pink or purple RGB. He just wanted to give off more of a warm light to kind of pull together the whole feel of his setup that he's got going on right now. This dude this might be my favorite setup from the entire video. Which reminds me, make sure you guys let me know what your favorite setup in this entire video is. I'd love to hear your opinions. That way I can kind of get a feel of what you guys like to see in a gaming setup. As I just said, mine is probably this one. Even though I'm a sucker for RGB at times, I sometimes see setups like this. I'm like, I mean, why do I even need RGB when I can pull off a gaming workspace type setup that gives off this kind of feel. I love it. Some of you might not, but either way, let me know in the comments down below which setup was your favorite. So there you have it. Some of the most popular gaming / streaming setups that there are on TikTok right now. Personally, I'm glad I went through these videos because I'm really never satisfied with my setup, and I feel like there's always things I can do to just make it better. And looking at that one setup again with the guy who had the matte black and the wood everywhere, the plant, very earth tony type setup without any RGB at all. I really love that setup, and I think going forward I might try to dip into more of those kind of aesthetics to see how I like it. And that's just what I love about doing these types of videos. Not only do I want to give you guys inspiration just by seeing other people's setups, but it also provides inspiration to me as well from seeing all these different aesthetics. So anyways, if you guys want to see my gaming setup live and in action, I do stream over on my second channel. Link down in the description down below. And if you guys want more content just like this one, be sure to like so I know that you guys like this kind of content. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss another video just like this one. And past that, that's all I have for this one. Hopefully, I'll catch you in the next one.